Good evening. Ira Epstein of Linn & Associates with your SPDR ETF wrap-up for Thursday, October 7th, 2021, about 6 p.m. Well, the good news. In about, I'd say, an hour or so, they're just over that, they're going to have the vote in the Senate. It will get passed, and we will have a debt ceiling extension. They've given it an increase that both sides are happy with, and it appears that the date's going to be December 3rd. Now, what does that mean, December 3rd? It means that the battleground will go right into the Christmas time frame. At the end of that, there will be another deal. It could be an extension again. It could be a deal on the debt ceiling. But either way, it's going to be a big battle. And no matter what you hear in the press, and it's only going to be 8 to 10 weeks away, just remember this, there's no way that the senators are going to give up what? Their Christmas holiday. So you can rest assured that there'll be something done before then, which means we have 8 weeks of nonsense in front of us as they bicker between what makes up the Reconstruction bill, what's going to possibly be in it, how do they get it passed with enough senators that are both Republicans and Democrats to get this done, or just going down and figuring out they can't get it done. I don't know what's going to happen there. How do the markets respond? Up. Markets like the fact that this was done. So you've got the combination of Robin Hood, which is Putin, rushing to Europe and saying, we're going to give you all the gas you need to get you out of this dilemma that you're in right now. It's not going to break price, but you're not going to run out. Then we get the United States saying, no, we're not going to default on any of our notes or bonds. And you can rest assured, just with what I told you, there is no chance that Congress is going to do something that cuts off Social Security at Christmas time. Think of what I'm saying to America. So that means it's a guarantee one way or the other. There'll be another debt ceiling extension, or there'll be an agreement on whatever the budget, and that includes part of it. That's where you're at. So when you get to Microsoft, you filled the gap here, and you're moving into this area right now. You can see that. In fact, I was looking at it, and I didn't quite look at it. The low of this day was 296.93, and the high of this day was 296.47. Do you see that? So there's a 40-cent gap there. You have to get up to 296.93 in order to fill that. And today's high, 296.64. We'll see if it can get up there and fill that little bit of a gap that's still left in the chart. I always like to look at those and see what they do. The pattern is not bullish. It's nothing. You ended, and this is the important thing, you ended a downtrend from that high, just over the 305 area, down to the 280. And that ended, and that's what's very typical on all the charts I'm looking at today. I shouldn't use the words all. The vast majority, you ended down waves. That does not mean you started up waves. When you look at Microsoft, you're back up to and fighting at the 18-day moving average of closes. You have a lower low, higher high over the 18-day average that's not trending. You were riding the Bollinger Band. You're through with that. You're out of a trend, and momentum is up. That's the way I'm looking at it. So a big nothing. In Apple, you rallied right back to the line in the sand. You lost back here. Were you ever embedded? So if we take a look, both numbers were under 20, under 20, under 20. What happens when you lose those numbers? All right, so follow me. If you're going to lose them, this was Tuesday, here's Wednesday, and you lose it, the odds favor you're going back to that 18-day average of closes. I think that's close. I think that's it. What have you done? You ended this whole swoop to the downside that began up here. And now that is formally over. And again, the 100-day average and the lower Bollinger Band offered the support. Is the market yet bullish? No. In order to get that going, you need a close over 144.32. You didn't do that. You got up today to 144.22, but you couldn't close over the 18-day average. So you've neutralized the bear trend, haven't started a bull one. In ARC, from this point on the chart all the way down here, and with the action today over this high of 111.71, you end the bear move there. What about the embedded readings? What is embedded? Maybe we should talk about that for a moment. Embedded's when you take an indicator and lock it into something. So in this case, when you get both numbers under 20 in the slow stochastic, it's embedded, has to do with a certain amount of days. And if you get a reading over 21, it's over. That's exactly what happened here. If the market loses that, it's often also a sign that you're going to go back to the closest main moving average, and it's clear to see that's the 18-day average of closes. That's what I'm expecting here. In the industrial sector, the market turned bullish today. I know that this morning when the market popped up, I was telling my traders, I think this is where the market's now telling you the long side's appropriate. You're looking for the market to get up here. You don't want to take out yesterday's low. I still stand behind that. In XSD, well, what we did here is we have had a pattern of lower highs, lower lows, riding the lower Bollinger Band. Never did embed it, got oversold. But if you take out this 196.96, which you did today, you break that pattern. And now I will say that that bear run is over. I don't know if we have the power yet for a bull run. We need a better chart formation for me to jump on. In CNBS, this is the cannabis. You haven't ended this bear run yet. Now, what the market is oversold. In order to end the bear run, you really got to get back over 1939. What the market has done is the first challenges of the lower Bollinger Band did prove to be where the pros were taking money off the table. And I don't think they're going to resell the market with an oversold condition unless you re-embed, and then you wouldn't be oversold. When we get to the home builders, again, remember what I told you, we have so many markets that are coming to an end here. First, you had a marketplace that made a lower low. You had a bearish crossover on the chart, and you ended up making that new low on the break. If the market takes out this number, yesterday's high, and that high, so we can look at it, is 72.74, then I'm going to come to you and say, just like I am, this move where we had from right here, all consistently lower highs with a market, did it embed? Both numbers, this is yesterday. Both numbers under 20, and the day before under 20. You're embedded. If you lose it with the red line closing over 21, game over. Maybe you make a run into this stiff resistance, that crossover resistance. It's exactly what the market is doing. So if you were my client and we were on the phone, hey, Bob, yeah, you don't want this to get over that. That could be the signal that the market's finished this run, and that's what I think it has done. That is not a bull signal yet. It's the end of a run. Energies, I'm still very bullish on. The market pulled back. Today was one of those days where in the futures, it was ugly. I was looking at the charts, and I'm wondering what they're doing. I had told clients to buy the heating oil, and by the mid-morning, and it went up nicely, by the way. I was questioning, did we buy it, or did they buy it? I had told them to buy it too high. In any case, in this market, you're fully embedded. It has been easier recently to trade the SPDR ETF plays than it has the futures, by the way. You had a bullish crossover today. Are you noticing? Watch the red line. Do you agree that it's under the 100? So this is a classic bullish setup. Watch, it won't work, but let me explain what's classic about it. You got the 200-day average. Right above it, the 100, above that, the 18, and the market's overall, and you got a bullish embedded reading. Why not? These upper numbers. I don't see why not. In EEM, what you did here is you've stayed oversold. You've had this pattern, and follow me. From this high, you've had consistent lower highs. You do see that, I hope. If you take out this high in an oversold condition, it's often the end of the run. And the resistance, if it goes up, could be the 18-day average. It's exactly what happened. Then we get to GLD. I have been telling you, gold has been a miserable chart. And it has been. Look at how it's just not able to do anything right here. The trend is this. You have higher lows, higher highs, unless you get down and take out 163.47. You're probably going to attract new buyers if you get over the high of Wednesday at 165.06. They'll have to have tight stops. It's a mess of a chart, but that's what I would think. And then they look up here. Get under 163.47, and you throw everything into disarray again. In the gold miners, when you lost the embedded reading, and here you are again with that embedded reading. If you haven't taken the enhanced Bollinger Band course, do, because this is all part of it. When you lose it right here, and you lost it on Tuesday, unless the market re-embeds immediately on Wednesday, which it did not do, I'm looking for the 18-day average of closes, and that's exactly what the market gave you. In TLT, you now have established a new embedded reading. I think the pros are going to sell this market with both hands until the red line closes back over 21, looking for the 141.20 area. In the euro currency, you can bounce, but you have an embedded reading. Until you get the red line over 21, I think rallies between here and this whole area are still where the pros are going to sell this market short. So I keep talking about these enhanced Bollinger Bands and what they may and may not do. You might want to take a look at this to learn a little bit about that. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time, and on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein on the road to your education.